Here we are with Monica to do a quick demo of screen printing, basic screen printing with a stencil.
Okay, so we've got our really nice new screens here with their aluminium framed, and yeah, we obviously we're using it with a stencil, we're not burning a design onto the screen, so attaching this to the stencil is just done by masking tape. And the stencil goes onto the underside of the screen. Obviously, this is where you're going to be placing ink and squeegeeing down, so we want that stencil on the underside and the right way around, not the wrong way. So as you look through the screen, this is the design, how it's going to come out on the fabric. So flipping your screen over, you want to position your stencil in the middle, and we've obviously got a large area around here, around our cutout area that we're printing, that we obviously don't want to get ink through to. So by right, that should be all covered with, say, masking tape, but we're just going to we've already got quite an area here where we can put the ink, or we can sit the ink before we squeegee it, so we don't need to put too much more masking tape around the edge.
Okay, so Monica has taped the stencil to the screen.
Okay, so just in terms of the table, what we've got underneath this plastic tablecloth are some felt mats, just to provide, again, like with block printing, you're kind of applying pressure down, so with the squeegee we're kind of pressing down, and to have a little bit of cushioning underneath helps achieve a nice kind of close print. So I'm just aligning my design in the middle of the piece of blue fabric we've got there, which is about the size of this. Okay, so I'm going to do, this is actually a 2-colour print. So I'm doing the first colour here. With your squeegee, you want this to be wide enough to cover your design all the way down in one sort of pull. So it's more than enough for this one we've got here. When you're checking it, if you just have a look at the edges, you want, because you're going to be pressing down and sort of at a 45-degree angle and dragging that down, you want to have the sharpest, be using the sharpest edge that you've got on the rubber there. So these ones are a little bit older, but yeah, it should be fine. So the consistency of the ink you're using is also important. I guess, yeah, the runnier it is, the faster you need to move, because you don't want to give it the chance to really seep underneath the stencil at all. So you just have to kind of judge that depending on the ink you've got. So we're putting ink, again, just working with the width of the design you're printing, putting ink, enough ink to cover that width and be drawn all the way to the bottom of the design. You don't want to have too little ink here where it kind of runs out halfway. So that looks like enough for this one. Okay, so it's often helpful to have someone else hold the other side of the frame for you, but because this design, oh thanks. Yeah. Okay, so usually with screen printing you do 2 pulls, and it's okay to kind of let the ink sit there because it's on the part of the stencil, not that's not cut through, so it's not going into the fabric at all. So yeah, you want to do 2 pulls. The first one you're aiming to, you're still pressing firmly with a 45-degree angle and drawing it down, but you're aiming to cover your design fully. You then scrape off the ink back into the ink tub, and do a second pull, which aims to clean the screen off as much as possible. So I'll do the first one here. So you can try and pick up the ink. And just scrape it off. And I'm just going to let that sit there and just try and do second pull. Okay. Oops. This is a little messy. This is not best practice.
Yeah, if this was a larger piece of fabric, you wouldn't want to
Yes.
have the drop. But
Yes.
this is just
and
a quick.
all of this would be covered as
Yeah.
well, actually. We're doing. So that's a bit better print. I think maybe, yeah, that second pull again could have been a little harder to kind of clean the screen off a little more. But yeah, that one's definitely a lot better. I think it's just kind of getting that timing right with the consistency of the ink. Yeah, so,
Lovely.
yeah.
Here's the two coloured screen prints.
I think the stencil